and amidst all the disturbance, how one can remain in a peaceful situation. So Kṛṣṇa gives the first mind control seminar or the first mind control workshop ever known to human mankind or the human race is given by Lord Krishna. That is Bhagavad Gita. So this is called Dhyan Yoga. This chapter is called Dhyan Yoga. And we have just begun this chapter. We discussed the first 3 verses. Very interestingly, Krishna is explaining that what is Dhyan and what is Yoga. So we will begin by the prayers, by the invocation. You have that sheet with you. Yeah. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pasyate Deshitarine. Hare Krishna. So, till the 5th chapter, Krishna was emphasizing how one should perform action. One should perform action as if he is duty bound, he is obligated. Like what action you perform as students? Studies. So why you have to study? Not that you want to have some aspirations achieved. Do you study only for that? Do you equate so much that if I study so much, I will get so much marks, and from so much marks, I will get so much of reward or so much of, position or money, and so much I can enjoy. Do you do that? No, that is not the correct way. It is not a business transaction. Why you study? Because this is your duty. More so because you are being given the scholarship by the country. It is your duty that you should put your effort and energy in gaining knowledge. So, dutiful work is beautiful work. When one is working out of duty, then he does best. He does better. When one is doing work because of one's own selfish motivation, then he cannot perform his best. Why? Because he is so much in anxiety. Isn't it? Haven't you seen that? So, Kṛṣṇa has explained in the first 5 chapters mainly on how to focus on performing one's duty with detachment. Detachment from attachment to result and rewards and recognition. Why do we do any action? 3 things. We want results. Of course, we are attached to results. That is why we perform action. And we also want recognition, isn't it? मैंने किया ना. I have performed this. People should know. Huh? And of course, there is some element of little reward also. Same thing. Reward, recognition, and results. But that is not what brings the best out of the person. That is not what will make the person become liberated. Rather, he'll become bondage. He will be again put into a situation of crisis. So how to be in control? Everyone wants to have control, isn't it? Everyone wants to exercise control, isn't it? The entire world is having this aspiration that he wants to be in control. He wants to have things under his command. So the most important thing Kṛṣṇa is focusing here is what to control. That we will see. So Kṛṣṇa begins this chapter by speaking about two aspects. One is one who is a yogi and the other who is a sannyasi. Most of the time when people see a spiritualist or a spiritual practitioner, they feel that this person has nothing to do with the real world. No, it is not like that. Sannyasi does not mean one who does not perform action. Sannyasi means one who does not perform action with attachments. So this science Kṛṣṇa is revealing in this Bhagavad Gita. And what is a yogi? Yogi means one who is a performer of actions, isn't it? Whom do you say yogi? We hear the interviews. People say they want yogi to be the next prime minister. Why? What action he performs, you know? What is the best action he performs? He brings the bulldozer. He brings the bulldozer. So his action is very much appreciated. But he's a sannyasi, isn't it? He wears saffron robes. Is very much appreciated. Why? Because he is cleansing the system. He is removing the ills of the society. The evil persons, they are getting punished. So this is the duty. So here Kṛṣṇa is combining. He is saying that Supreme Personality of Godhead said, see the first verse and the translation. I'll quickly just review and then come to the verses ahead. That one who is unattached to the fruit of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. This is very important. So this technique or this art, if we can learn. What is the technique? Who works as if he is obligated. So I'm not doing any favor to anyone. If you are studying, are you doing any favor to anyone? No, we are doing the favor to the self. Why? Because by performing our duty, we get purified. What is the purification? That we come to know who we are. Otherwise, we will never come to know who we are. We will consider ourselves to be what we are not. So the person remains in always in illusion and oblivion. So such a person who is unattached to the fruits, and one can work only as obligated when he is unattached to the fruit. Otherwise, it is not possible. If he is attached, he cannot work as if obligated. And second, Kṛṣṇa says that karyam karma karoti. So he performs all activities. So sannyasi is not one who has renounced all action. Sannyasi is one who has renounced the attachment to action. And he performs the best action because he performs the action thinking that he is obligated to perform. That this is his duty. So this is one. And then Kṛṣṇa says, sa sannyasi sa yogi cha na cha niragni chakra. So it is not that he is, inertia or he gives up his action. No. So this is the first thing. So Kṛṣṇa clears the misconception. So we have many misconceptions and we feel many people who are yogi or sannyasi. No. Who is a true yogi? Who is a true sannyasi? Or who is a perfect yogi or a perfect sannyasi? Who follows these two principles. One, he is unattached to the result. And second, he works as if it is his duty, it is his obligation. If you do like this, if you study like this, you see what will be the results. The results will be completely different, unexpected result. So for every one of us, we should perform our action in this spirit. So then when this kind of action is performed, then this action is liberating. This action is elevating. What is the elevation? What is the liberation? That we will see. Nitin, just here. Don't give messages. Hare Krishna. Then Krishna in the second verse said that what is called renunciation should know to be the same as yoga. So first, Krishna is talking about the persons, two kinds of persons. One is the yogi and the other is a sannyasi. But now he's talking about the path. What are the paths? There are two paths. What are the paths? And Krishna is combining both of them. The path is, he says, that what is called renunciation, you should know to be the same as yoga or linking oneself with the Supreme. O son of Pandu, for one who never becomes a yogi unless he renounces the desire for sense gratification. So, Krishna is combining both a yogi and a sannyasi. But who can become a yogi and a sannyasi? One who is renounced. Renounced means that he is again not attached. And Prabhupada says in the purport that the real aim for the living entity is to give up selfish satisfaction and to be prepared to satisfy the Supreme. So selfish motivations. Most of us have very self-centered aspirations, isn't it? The aspiration or the ambition is just to fulfill our own desire. And even while not knowing who we are, we don't know what is own. We disown everything. But what we disown, we try to own. And what we own, we try to disown. So that duality can never be cleared unless and until one comes to this stage. And then Kṛṣṇa says that there are two levels of people. Kṛṣṇa talk about two peoples, two paths, and now he's defining the two levels. In the third verse, he talks about Ara-ruksho munyo. Ara-ruksho. Ara-ruksho means one who is a beginner, not is a practitioner. And the other is those who have perfected. Is yoga-ārūḍhaḥ. So there are two types of persons. One is in the beginning stage and the other is on the perfection stage. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. So now we will see the fourth verse. From today we will discuss the fourth verse. Okay. So got the connection? What we are speaking? So Kṛṣṇa says, yadā hi na indriya-artheṣu na karmasu anuṣajjate sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī yogārūḍhas tadocyate. Anyone would like to recite? Try karo. There is no negative marking. It is all positive. If you repeat Krishna's words, you only gain his blessings. Who will try? Have you tried? You speak. Yadā hi na indriya-artheṣu karmasu anuṣajjate sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī yogārūḍhas tadocyate. बोलो, डोंट वरी. आपको हम बताएं, इजी हो जाएगा. आपने नीचे वर्ड मीनिंग देखा है? yes. वहां से पढ़ो.
yadā hi nendriyā-artheṣu na karmasv anuṣajjate sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī yogā-ārūḍhaḥ tadocyate.
Wow, very good. Good try. You try, Anuruddh?
Yes, sir.
बोलो.
Yadā hi na indriya-artheṣu.
Yada, see, simple. See from the down below, from the word meaning. Yada hi na indriya-artheṣu. बोलो.
Yadā hi na indriya-artheṣu.
ना कर्मसु अनुसज्जते. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट टाइम तो इजी है, पढ़ो.
सर्व-संकल्प
सन्यासी.
सन्यासी
सर्व-संकल्प-संन्यासी
योगा-ārūḍhaḥ.
Yoga-ārūḍhaḥ tadocyate. Praveen? Easy. आराम से. हाँ. yadā indriya-artheṣu na karmasu anuṣajjate sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī yogārūḍhas tadocyate. संग्राम बोलिए. yadā indriya-artheṣu
na
karmasu anuṣajjate
sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī
sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī yogārūḍhas tadocyate. हाँ कोई बात नहीं. या नीचे लिखा है ना, देखो. See how it is mentioned. Yoga, simple. योग तो पढ़ सकते हो. You see, read from the word meaning. And arudha. Arudha समझते हैं ना. Arudha means one who is climbed or one who is seated. आ जाओ. Sit in the front. So yoga-ārūḍ. Garud you have seen, na? You know Garud? So what is Garud? Garud is the bird on whose back Lord Vishnu is there. He is the carrier. So Lord Vishnu is seated on the back of Garud. So yoga-ārūḍ means one who has climbed the highest ladder of the yoga, who has got perfection. So Kṛṣṇa is talking. So Kṛṣṇa says, a person is said to be elevated in the yoga having renounced all material desires. This is one aspect. Is what stage is this? Out of the two, which stage is this? Just think. समझ में आ रहा है ना? दो स्तर हैं. There are two levels. One is at the beginning and the other is at the perfection. So which stage is this? Perfection. Very good. So what stage is that? Yoga-ārūḍhaḥ. Yoga-ārūḍhaḥ. Okay. You came a little late. Try to be in time. Otherwise, time will fly. The person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all the material desires. So this is called the elevation. Elevation means higher stage, advanced position. Second, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. So three stages. How it goes? From top it is coming down. The first thing is that he neither acts for sense gratification nor he engages for fruitive activities. So, when a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself. But before I go to that, let me explain this verse. So, the highest stage is sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī. Sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī means that he has no desire for any sense gratification. There is no material desire. See, a soul cannot be without desire. You see, Prabhupada gives an example that the body cannot be without temperature. Yeah, temperature can it be zero? The person will die. It cannot be zero. But what he has to maintain? He has to maintain the normal temperature. What is the normal temperature? That is in centigrade, and what is the 98.4, 5 or 6, whatever your theory may be. It cannot be brought to zero. So similarly, desires cannot become zero. They're not possible. But the problem is, if you do not have spiritual desire, what you will have? Material desire. So, a person is sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī. He is a sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī means that all of his material desires have been mitigated, or it has been completely overcome. Why? That means he has only spiritual desires. Prabhupada, our spiritual founder, Acharya, wherever he went, whatever he saw, he connected that with Kṛṣṇa. He saw a big building. He said, this can be a good temple for Kṛṣṇa. Whatever he saw, he connected with Kṛṣṇa. But in our case, what do we see? As we see a good car, we said, let me drive it. Let me own it. And of course, you see, we see other things also. And what is the aspiration coming? let me enjoy it. So, how that sankalpa can come of sannyas when one has spiritual elevation. That's the highest stage. Highest stage. So, before that, what is the stage? That he neither acts for sense gratification. This is very important. So, desires may be there. We cannot be desireless. So, how it begins? The desire will be there. As soon as the sense object comes in our contact with the senses, immediately what happens? There is this desire which comes, isn't it? As soon as you see a new mobile phone, what is important these days? Apple phone. What do you say? Apple ही बोलते हैं ना? iPhone. iPhone. People are identifying with phone. See the psyche of the person who has created iPhone. He's a very intelligent person. He has created iPhone. So people, what they are doing, they are taking so much of loan. I heard in one case that the person, he was so obsessed to have an iPhone that he went and sold his kidney so that he can have iPhone. But can he become phone? Even if he has iPhone, does he become a phone? So he neither acts for sense gratification. So the desire may be there. As soon as you see something, the senses, when they are not pure, when the senses are impure, so what the senses will desire, not only they will desire, they will demand also. They will demand to have those object of senses so that they can enjoy. But the first level of practitioner is one who sees the sense object, the desire is also there, but he does not engages in the act. That means he does not bring the senses in contact with the sense objects. Desire will be there. So that is called restraint. That is called control. The first level of control. He does not allow the senses to roam unrestrictedly in trying to enjoy the objects. So what he will do? He will get himself away from that place. Like devotees who have now practicing Kṛṣṇa consciousness, but their past impressions are there. Some was very interested in cricket match. So what he will do? As soon as the mobile screen will come, he will see the score. But then do not touch the screen. Do not get inside. So he does not engages in the act. So what is there? There is some restraint. He has discipline. He does not enter into the sense object. So here it is being said, he neither acts for sense gratification. What is it? Na karmasu anuṣajjate. See? He does not engage in fruitive activities. No, sorry, this is nahi indriya-artheṣu. That indriya-artheṣu means in the act for sense gratification. That is indriya-artheṣu. He does not engage in the action of sense gratification. Very important. Like, there is some place where people will be drinking and smoking. So what to do? There is an invitation. So if you go there, then what will be the position? If you go there in that place, then what it means? That you are inclined to engage. Isn't it? What you will do? You will not be like Arjuna, na? That you are on the battlefield and you will say, I will not fight. So better what to do? That when you know that that place is a dangerous place, that place is a place where I may commit something wrong. So what one should do? One should keep distance. One should keep detached. This is detachment. This is one level of detachment. So remain distance from that place. Second is na karmasv anuṣajjate. So he does not allow the senses to get the objects of the senses. So that is one level of restraint. Not easy. Is it easy? As soon as the invitation is there, what is our desire? Chalo, kaun dekh raha hai? Second is na karmasu anuṣajjate. It does not make any endeavor. It does not make any plans. That is, he does not engage in fruitive activities. Karmasu anuṣajjate. Karma means fruitive activities. Fruitive activities में चलो आज तो वो enjoy कर रहा है, हम भी करेंगे. So making plans, making endeavors. So that is karmasu anuṣajjate. And the third is sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī. That is the very high level. So 3 levels. Okay. At our level, what should be the approach? To remain distance. Remain aloof from those places, from those people who will force us to do what is not good for us. We know that. Don't we know that? But a very important verse is coming next. So please understand this concept. Otherwise, you won't understand the next concept. Kṛṣṇa is focusing on the real force from within. Kṛṣṇa is doing our inner engineering. Inner engineering समझते हैं ना? हम सब बाहर ही सुधारते रहते हैं, अंदर कभी नहीं झांकते हैं. तो Kṛṣṇa is talking about inside. What is inside? Inside क्या सब गड़बड़ कर रखा है? तो inside क्या ठीक करना है? Kṛṣṇa उसके बारे में बताएंगे. ठीक है? So 3 levels. One is na indriya-artheṣu, na karmasu, and then of course, if you can do that, these 2 levels, then maybe someday you can come to the level of sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī. And how to become position? Prabhupada gives the purport when a person is fully engaged. Gopal Prabhu, we are reading from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita है आपके पास? रखिए. खोलो अभी तक खोला नहीं. 6th chapter and 4th verse. ध्यान yoga. When a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself. And thus, he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive. And this is very important principle. Unless and until you have some higher taste or you have some higher aspiration, the sense gratification cannot be overcome. Like you've seen a child. If a child is playing with something, if you want to take that toy with him, what will be the position? क्या होगा? Yeah, he will create a situation where you will be forced to give him back the toy, isn't it? चुप हो जा बाप, ये ले ले. But you give him something bigger or better, then what he will do? As soon as he will see the other thing, he will leave this. You go to Vrindavan, you've seen when we go to Vrindavan, for us it is difficult. We are wearing specs. So there are some monkeys in Vrindavan who are trained. So what these monkeys will come? They will come and take away our specs. They'll come. Immediately they'll come. Before you realize, your spec is gone. And then what you have to do? You have to give them fruity. And very simple. If you give them fruity from one hand, from the second hand, they'll give you the glasses. It has happened with me many times. So I try not to take the glasses. So it is very simple. If the animal can understand this, so if you give something higher or better, then he will leave the lower aspiration. Like how you are coming here, you have cycles in IERI, you have cycle. If somebody gives you a bike and he asks you for a cycle, will you exchange or you will refuse? Exchange करोगे ना? तुम तो बोलोगे पेट्रोल साथ में दे दो. है ना? So, if this is the principle, so Prabhupada is explaining that unless and Kṛṣṇa has already explained that Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasovarjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. 2.59. Kṛṣṇa has already explained that principle. Yeah, we are now giving details, what he has given before. So Vishaya vinivartante. How can one give up this desire or this aspiration for enjoying the senses with the sense object if he has something higher, something better? And if he has not been able to develop that taste, then he cannot be released from what he has in his hand. So what is that something which is higher, which is better? Is loving transcendental service to the Lord. This is very important. We are all trying to work, or we are all trying to perform action to serve our either mind or our intelligence or our ego, isn't it? But here, Kṛṣṇa is giving a bigger goal, a higher goal. What did Kṛṣṇa tell Arjuna? That you fight for me. Kṛṣṇa said in 2.39, Yogastu kuru karmani sangam 2.48. Yogastu kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhyo asiddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga ucyate. That perform your duty equipoise. Mute it, mute it. Oh Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. And then Krishna says that you fight because I want you to fight. Simple. So unless and until the higher aspiration is there or the higher goal is there, one cannot give up the lower goal, isn't it? Why you give up schooling? आप स्कूल से बाहर निकलना चाहते थे ना. जब बच्चा 10th में आता है तो किसकी सपने देखता है? हाँ, कॉलेज के. है या नहीं कि कब यहाँ से निकलूं और कॉलेज में जाऊं? क्यों? कॉलेज में क्यों जाना चाहते हैं? फ्रीडम. अभी तो बहुत सारा क्या है, बहुत सारा बंधन है. कॉलेज में बंक मार सकते हैं ना, स्कूल में तो नहीं मार सकते, कॉलेज में नहीं मार सकते. अरे तो तुम सारी क्लास करते हो जितनी क्लास होती है. अभी बोल रहे हो ना, तुम्हारे टीचर से जाके पूछना पड़ेगा. अभी आने वाले हैं दिनेश जी, अभी आएंगे. 2 चेयर्स लगाए हुए हो ना. हाँ ठीक है. तो हमेशा ये कर रहे हैं, पूरे जीवन भर हम ये कर रहे हैं, जहां हम हैं वहां संतुष्ट नहीं है. हाँ, स्कूल में है तो कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं, कॉलेज में है तो कहाँ जाना चाहते हैं, हाँ जॉब में, करियर में. हाँ, जॉब और करियर में तो क्या करना चाहते हैं, नहीं शादी करना चाहते हैं. कहीं सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है. हाँ, जो कर रहे हैं उससे हमें लग रहा है कि इससे ज्यादा सुख या इससे ज्यादा प्रेशर किसमें है, जो मेरे पास नहीं है. तो यहाँ प्रभुपाद जी समझा रहे हैं, when a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activity. तो ये 2 चीजों से बचने के लिए पूरी दुनिया इसी 2 में फंसी है. वो क्या है, इंद्रिय तृप्ति और फ्रूटिव वर्क. फ्रूटिव वर्क क्या कहेगा, मतलब फल की आसक्ति, भोगने की आसक्ति. तो इससे कैसे बचें, इससे कैसे बाहर निकलें, जब आप भगवान के लिए कुछ कार्य करें. मैं आपको एक इंस्टेंस बताता हूँ, बिल्कुल रियल इंस्टेंस, रियल फैक्ट. सब लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं कि अगर मैं धनवान हो जाऊं, हाँ, अगर मैं कुछ पोजीशनवान हो जाऊं तो मैं सुख पाऊंगा. लेकिन वो सुख मिलेगा नहीं. सुख कहाँ पे है, जब व्यक्ति भगवान की सेवा करता है. आइए दिनेश जी, कुर्सी लगी हुई है सर आपके लिए. आप अकेले ही हैं या वो भी है? अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, आप, वो चेयर है आपके लिए, प्लीज सिट ऑन द चेयर. ओके दिनेश जी, वेलकम. तो जब तक आपके पास ये हायर ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होगा, जब तक आपके पास, ये थोड़ा बंद कर दो, बाहर का जो शोर है वो कम आएगा. तो जब तक ये ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होगा तब तक आप इससे छूटेंगे नहीं. किससे, इंद्रिय तृप्ति से या सकाम कर्म से. हाँ, सकाम कर्म से आप छूट नहीं सकते. अदरवाइज वन मस्ट बी एंगेज इन सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन. क्लियर है? सिंस वन कैनॉट लिव विदाउट एंगेजमेंट. तो soul means it is always active. It cannot be inactive. What does inaction mean? Dead. Dead. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. So what is the self? Self is the body. And what is the extended self? Anyone who has any relation or connection with the body. तो बस इन्हीं को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए या इस पे प्रेशर सीख करने के लिए सारे प्रयास चलते रहेंगे. But a Krishna conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realizations must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rung of the yoga ladder. तो artificial प्रयास चलेगा नहीं. One is trying mechanically. Mechanically it will not succeed. So how to be able to do that? Or what is the biggest obstacle which does not allow us to come to the higher stage of the yoga ladder? From the beginner stage, why we are not able to come to the yoga-ārūḍhaḥ stage? No, Krishna is diagnosing. देखिए ना, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, भगवत गीता इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि अगर हम भगवत गीता का स्टडी नहीं करेंगे तो हमें पता ही नहीं चलेगा कि व्हाट इज द रियलिटी एंड व्हाट इज द रीजन दैट व्हाई वी आर स्टक. देन ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन नॉट हैव एनी सोल्यूशन आल्सो. जब डायग्नोसिस ही नहीं हुआ तो क्योर कहाँ से होगा? होगा नहीं होगा. एक स्पेशलिस्ट से दूसरे स्पेशलिस्ट के पास खाली जाते रहेंगे, क्योर नहीं होगा. क्योर नहीं होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि डायग्नोस ही नहीं हुआ. यही है ना आजकल समस्या. क्या है अभी आप देखते हो ना. हाँ, आजकल लोग बोलते हैं कि एक कंसल्टेंट के पास गए, एक स्पेशलिस्ट के पास गए, आराम नहीं मिला, वो कहाँ जाएंगे? दूसरे के पास जाएंगे. वो भी क्या करेगा? बहुत सारे टेस्ट करेगा. देखा नहीं देखा है अभी आजकल. लेकिन वो वहां भी सेटिस्फाई नहीं हुए, क्योंकि क्या है, कोई भी कंसल्टेंट सही डायग्नोसिस नहीं कर रहा है. और अगर डायग्नोसिस कर भी दे रहा है तो जो पेशेंट है वो क्या कर रहा है? स्वीकार नहीं कर रहा है. तो भी भगवान बहुत बड़ा डायग्नोसिस करने वाले हैं. हमारी सारी समस्याओं की जड़ कहाँ है? What is the root cause of all our miserable situation? Very important verse, one of the most important verses, the next two verses. We will try to take, if time permits, both, otherwise at least one. Krishna says, how to elevate? Udharet atmana atmanam atmanam avasadayet आत्मेवा हि आत्मनो बंधुर आत्मेव रिपुरात्मना. It is written very poetically. Krishna says, what a composition. So many times the word Atmana is coming. One more time. हाँ, ध्यान से सुनो. उधारेदात्मना आत्मानम नात्मनम अवसादयेत् आत्म आत्मेव हि आत्मनो बंधुर आत्मेव रिपुरात्मना. यस, ट्राई, बोलिए.
उद्धरेत् आत्मना आत्मानं
नारेदात्मना आत्मानं
आत्मानं अवसादयेत्
नात्मनम् अवसादयेत्
आत्म एव हि आत्मानं
आत्मेव हि आत्मनो बन्धुर्
आत्म एव हि आत्मना बन्धु
आत्मेव हि आत्मनो बन्धुर्
आत्म एव रिपु आत्मना
आत्मेव रिपुरात्मना. आप में से कोई ट्राई करेगा? करो.
उद्धारे आत्मानं
उद्धरेत्
उद्धारेदात्मना आत्मानं
नात्मानं अवसादयेत्
नात्मनम् अवसादयेत्
नैव आत्मनो बन्धुर्
आत्मेव हि आत्मनो बन्धुर्
आत्मनः
आत्मेव रिपुरात्मना. ठीक है, वेरी गुड. सो कृष्णा इज सेइंग उद्धारेत, उद्धार कर लो. उद्धार मीन्स टू डिलीवर, to go beyond. How one must go beyond? Atmana, here the word Atmana is used many times. Atmana, Atmanam, Atmanam, Atmeva, Atmano, Atmeva. How many times? 5 to 6 times at least. Yeah? 6 times. 6 times. So here, what is Atmana? Here the first Atmana is being addressed for the mind. So our elevation in yoga-ārūḍhaḥ stage or our degradation in going outside yoga will depend upon our mind. Our mind. Can we see the mind? No. But whatever the mind directs or decides, it creates, that is the responsibility that makes our elevation or degradation. So who is to be delivered by the mind? See, very important. Udharet atmana atmanam. And the other atmanam is the soul. So one must deliver himself with the help of the mind. Self is what? The soul. So how to elevate? How to deliver the soul? With the help of the mind. So it is the mind which will be the deciding factor, is the deciding factor that whether one is elevated or whether one is degraded, whether one gets promotion or one gets demotion. Why? Because, and not degrade himself. Na atmanam avasadayet. Udharet is elevation and avasadayet is degradation. Elevation and degradation. And atmanam is the mind. So the mind is responsible for the soul either to be promoted or to be demoted. Why it is so? Next line. Atmeva hi atmano bandhur. The mind is the friend. Bandhur, you know. There are three levels of closeness. What is that? One is sakha. Sakha, you know,
Yes.
friend. So fair weather. I support you, you support me. तभी तक friendship है ना. The day I oppose you, do you have friends? So what kind of friend do you have in your life? You have this kind of friend only. है ना? Have you find a friend that you oppose him and he loves you? मिला किसी को? नहीं मिला ना? और मिलेगा भी नहीं. But बंधु means brother. प्रॉपर्टी के झगड़े में दोनों एक दूसरे को अपोज करते हैं ना, लेकिन रिश्ता खत्म होता है. दोस्ती तो खत्म हो जाती है लेकिन रिश्ता खत्म नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि किसका है वो? दे आर ब्रदर्स. व्हाट दे हैव कॉमन? मदर एंड फादर. इट कैन नेवर चेंज. जो भाई है वो भाई रहेगा ना, चाहे लड़ाई हो चाहे आपस में समझौता हो, रिश्ता तो सेम ही रहेगा, वो चेंज नहीं हो सकता. दैट इज बंधु. तो ये मन जो है ये बंधु है. कब? माइंड इज द फ्रेंड ऑफ द कंडीशन सोल. कब क्या है ये हम समझाएंगे. और सेकेंडली दिस इज बंधुर एंड ऑल्सो इट इज रिपु. रिपु मीन्स enemy. So the mind is the same time, mind can either be the enemy or the mind can be the friend. This is very, very important aspect and very dangerous. Because we do not know, we are thinking that the mind is the friend, but actually it is our enemy. तो कृष्ण यहां बता रहे हैं कि सारे दंगे की, सारे जड़ की फसाद कौन है? ये हमारा मन. कौन सा मन? रास्कल मन. ये असुर, ये सबसे बड़ा असुर जो हमारे अंदर बैठा है. और इसी के कारण हम क्या कर सकते हैं? आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते. तो वन मस्ट डिलीवर हिमसेल्फ विद द हेल्प ऑफ हिज माइंड एंड नॉट डिग्रेड हिमसेल्फ. द माइंड इज द फ्रेंड ऑफ द कंडीशन सोल एंड इज एनिमी एज वेल. तो बहुत जरूरी हम जाने कि किस स्थिति में हम समझे कि माइंड हमारा फ्रेंड है और किस स्थिति में माइंड हमारा शत्रु है. क्योंकि शत्रु और मित्र दोनों एक साथ है. बड़ी डेंजरस सिचुएशन है ना. अभी पाकिस्तान को हम क्या कहते हैं? शत्रु ही बोलते हैं ना, मित्र तो नहीं बोलते हैं ना. अगर हम पाकिस्तान को मित्र बोलने लगे तो हमारी क्या स्थिति होगी? हाँ हाँ. तो फिर हमें कौन बचाएगा? चाइना को मित्र मित्र करते थे ना. हमारे पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री क्या करते थे? हिंदू चीनी भाई भाई. हो गया क्या? धोखा हो गया. तो अभी धोखेबाज से क्या करना पड़ेगा? सावधान रहना पड़ेगा, सतर्क रहना पड़ेगा. क्योंकि जिसको हम दोस्त समझ रहे हैं वास्तव में वो है क्या? शत्रु है. शत्रु है. इसको समझिए. द वर्ड आत्मा डिनोट्स बॉडी, माइंड एंड सोल. तो ये बहुत विशेष है. संस्कृत में ये संभव है, इंग्लिश में संभव नहीं है. इंग्लिश में एक ही मीनिंग हो सकता है, दूसरा मीनिंग नहीं हो सकता. हिंदी में भी नहीं होता, लेकिन संस्कृत में ये संभव है. कि किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यूज किया गया है. तो भगवान ने बहुत ही पोएटिक वे में इसको दिया है. डिपेंडिंग अपॉन डिफरेंट सर्कमस्टांसेस. इन द योगा सिस्टम द माइंड एंड द कंडीशन सोल आर स्पेशली इंपॉर्टेंट. योग का मतलब क्या होता है? योग का मतलब क्या होता है? कनेक्शन. और कनेक्शन कैसे स्टैब्लिश होता है? माइंड से. अगर आप देखो प्रभुपाद जी 2.48 में ही योगा की डेफिनेशन दे रहे हैं. 2.48 मनोराम प्रभु, शो दी 2.48 वर्स of Bhagavad Gita. Quickly. आपने खोल लिया 122? आइए, हरे कृष्णा. अच्छा, she was the one. अच्छा, please come. Welcome, madam. And give one copy of Bhagavad Gita also. So here Krishna is explaining. This is the first time Krishna is using the word yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Where? In 2.4. As I just mentioned this verse, Krishna is saying, Yogasthu kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddho asiddho samo bhutva samatvam yog ucyate. So one of the themes of Bhagavad Gita is to be always equipoised. Equipoised समझते हैं ना? समता. Whether it is favorable or whether it is not so favorable. Whether it is liking to me or whether it is dislike. That is what it brings us to the platform of duty. Otherwise, what will be the platform? The platform will be our likes and dislikes. If we remain at the platform of likes and dislikes, then today if I like, I will come to duty. And tomorrow if I do not like, I will not come. Then one is not on the platform of duty. Then what is at the platform of desire? So here, come down, Manoram, show me the purport. So Prabhupada says that Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. Yogastu karu karmani. Karmani means action. And how one has to perform action? As if he is performing duty. What is the word that we discussed? Obligation. Very good. One has to perform action as he is obligated to perform. That means he is responsible. And if he does not perform, what is he? He is irresponsible. So the first thing coming in this human form of life, what we have to become? We have to become responsible. Yeah. Human life is a life of responsibility. In animal life, there is no responsibility. Do we have any responsibility in the animal life? They are free. They have no responsibility. They can roam around anyone. They can meet with anyone. They can live in and live out. Isn't it? But now you see what is the position of human race. Where they have elevated? They are just the advanced version of animals. Why? Because they are becoming irresponsible. So Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing. So this is what yoga means. Yoga does not mean physical drill. That is good and to keep your body fit. But yoga means connection, contact. And how the contact is established? By concentrating the mind. And how you can concentrate the mind? Are we able to concentrate the mind? No. You try to concentrate the mind, focus on something, immediately the mind gets distracted. What distracts the mind? The senses. By controlling the ever-disturbing senses. So this is the first level of practice. What is the first level of practice? Not to engage the senses in sense objects. We discussed that is the first level. So yoga starts when one is able to curb that is why the yoga process is yama, niyama. Yama means rules and regulations. That is the first level. Okay, come back to the verse where we are on the 5th verse of the 6th chapter. So here, in the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Why? Because with the mind, we connect. Connection is established through the mind. So we cannot neglect the mind. Or we cannot leave the mind as it is. Since the mind is the central point of the yoga practice. Mind is the central point. So any connection is to be established, it is through the mind only. You are seated here, but where the mind can take you? It can take you to any distance place. Most of the time what happens? We have physical presence, but it is difficult to have mental presence. Why? Because the mind is unrestrictedly roaming somewhere else. It is dwelling on the object where it is attached. Isn't it? Does it go to the object where it is detached? Is it thinking about who is the president of Ukraine? What is he doing? To hell with him. What have I to do with him? But if you have kept your new car outside, and you have come here and sitting in the class. Where is the mind? Is it in the class? It is always thinking, someone come and push my car from back. Have I parked properly or not? हाँ, कोई चुरा के तो नहीं ले जाएगा. So many thoughts will keep on the mind. About what? About the car. Why? Because you think the car belongs to you. Huh? So this is very important. The Prabhupada is saying, since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, and Atma here refers to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind. So this is the most important instruction of Bhagavad Gita, is to control the mind. In the initial first chapter, we discussed that Kṛṣṇa is known as Rishikesha. Rishika means the senses, and the master of the senses is the mind. It is ekadash. 5 working senses, and we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses. You know that, na? What are the 5 working senses? Bolo. Eyes working senses. That is knowledge acquiring. Okay, let us go by knowledge acquiring senses. What are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses? We see through our eyes. So we gain knowledge how? By seeing. Through our ears. Through our nose we smell. Through the tongue we taste. And through the skin we feel the touch. So these are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. And there are 5 working senses. We perform all actions. What are the 5 working senses? बोलो. सबसे ज्यादा कार्य कैसे करते हो आप? हाँ, hands, then legs, then mouth से क्या करते हो? Speech, you speak, isn't it? Then mind. Mind is the master of the senses. है ना? Ears तो हो गया ना मैडम? Ears से we hear, that is knowledge. Yeah. Then the genitals, we reproduce, and then also there is rectum, we eliminate the waste. So these are the 5 working senses. But the master of all these 5 knowledge acquiring senses and working senses is the mind. He is the one who is the chief. He is the one who is in control. So the purpose of yoga system is to control the mind and draw it away from attachment to sense objects. But what is the mind doing in our normal scenario? The mind is always getting some, what should I say, like sensor is, what is it? जो रेस ट्रांसमिट करता है, नहीं सेंस करता है ना, जैसे आप जाते हो तो रेस सेंसिंग, हाँ सेंसर ही होता है ना, वो डिटेक्ट कर लेता है, हाँ डिटेक्ट करता है. तो जैसे ही सेंसेस डिटेक्ट करते हैं सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट को, जैसे आपने कुछ देखा, क्या देखा आपने? हम कार का ही एग्जांपल लेते हैं. एक नई कार देखी, नया मॉडल आया. हाँ, जैसे ही नया मॉडल आया तो किसने देखा? देखा कहाँ से आपने? आइस से. मैकेनिज्म क्या है? आइस. लेकिन और आइस तो क्या है? एक ऑर्गन है. हाँ, वो इंप्रेशन आइस से कहाँ जाता है? माइंड में. और माइंड से क्या आता है? इमीडिएटली एक डिजायर आता है. एक डिजायर आता है ना, इमीडिएटली एक रेस्पॉन्स आता है, आइदर नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव. और रेस्पॉन्स क्या है? आई लाइक द कार. देन व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट? I should have it or I should enjoy it. Then it gives to the intelligence. ऐसे थोड़ी मिल जाएगी. खाली सोचने से या बोलने से मिल जाएगी क्या गाड़ी? नहीं मिलेगी. तो उसके लिए क्या करना है? उसके लिए इंटेलिजेंस वर्क करता है. तो दिस वे द माइंड स्टार्ट्स टू पुट थिंग इनटू एक्शन. इट प्रोपेल समझते हैं ना उसको, मतलब एक थ्रस्ट देता है. So here Prabhupada is saying the purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind. The mind has to be controlled, that it does not give needless desires. Mind का एक function है. What is the function of the mind? MIND. Mind का क्या है? First thing is that it imagines. है ना? Mind is, it magnifies problem. छोटी सी चीज होगी उसको इतना बड़ा बना देगा. प्रॉब्लम है नहीं. आपने देखा है अपनी लाइफ में जितना हमारे माइंड में प्रॉब्लम आता है 95% उसका कभी सच नहीं हो पाता है. होता है? नहीं होता है. इट जस्ट गिव्स अस नेगेटिविटी. So mind magnifies our problem. M, it magnifies our problems. Second, I, it imagines pleasure. दोनों चीज काम करता है एक साथ. जिसमें प्लेजर नहीं है उसमें हमें क्या करता है, हाँ, पुश करता है कि possess it and enjoy it. So it is both. And N is it negates responsibility. करता है नहीं करता है. And D, हाँ, डिस्ट्रक्शन तो है ही है, हाँ, it denies reality. हमेशा किस स्टेज में रखता है हमको, हाँ, हाँ, illusion में रखता है. Always keeps us in illusion. Does not allow us to come to the reality. It magnifies problems. It imagines pleasure. It negates responsibility and it denies reality. तो इसलिए क्या करना जरूरी है, प्रभुपाद जी यहाँ बोल रहे हैं, the purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained. So what requires? Mind has to be trained. Like you have seen the horses, the, what is it called? Horse race. So, or equestrian बोलते हैं. That is the principle in the Olympics, equestrian, that they, go with the horses is so much trained. You have seen in the equestrian, the horses is so much trained that there is an obstacle. और वो बिल्कुल सही टाइमिंग होता है, वो हॉर्स जंप लगाता है और वो बढ़ते जाता है, वो एक के बाद दो हो जाता है, दो के बाद तीन. देखा है नहीं देखा है? हाँ, तो क्या है कि उसको इतना सही ट्रेन किया हुआ है, उसको इतना सही ट्यून किया हुआ है, और जॉकी क्या करता है, जो उसका वो होता है रेंस होता है, उसको उतना सही समय में क्या करता है, स्ट्रेस करता है कि वो उतनी लंबी जंप लगाता है. तो क्या है, ट्रेनिंग भी है और ट्यूनिंग भी है. ट्रेनिंग और ट्यूनिंग दोनों. तो यहाँ भी यही बता रहे हैं कि तो कि उसको लिए कितना प्रैक्टिस किया होगा, कितना प्रैक्टिस किया है, हाँ, पूरा लाइफ प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तब उस लेवल पे आते हैं ना. तो यहां भी बता रहे हैं कि द माइंड मस्ट बी सो ट्रेन्ड. द माइंड हैज टू बी ट्रेन्ड. माइंड हैज टू बी ट्रेन्ड. तो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या है, तो ट्रेनिंग कौन देता है, ट्रेनिंग कौन देता है, ट्रेनर. ट्रेनर चाहिए. माइंड को इसलिए आप नहीं कंट्रोल कर सकते. अगर आपके पास ट्रेनर नहीं है तो आपका माइंड कभी कंट्रोल होगा नहीं. इसीलिए जितना भी एफर्ट है माइंड कंट्रोल का, उसका एक ही रिजल्ट है, क्या है, 100% फेलियर. क्यों? क्योंकि आपके पास ट्रेनर तो है ही नहीं. जब तक ट्रेनर नहीं है कंट्रोल होगा. एक पागल, एक जंगली घोड़े को ले आओ, है ना. माइंड इज ऑल्सो कंपेयर टू मैड एलिफेंट, और माइंड कैन ऑल्सो बी कंपेयर टू अ वाइल्ड हॉर्स. एक पागल हाथी को ले आओ और उससे आप बोलो कि हम बोझा ढुआएंगे, वो क्या करेगा, आपको कुचल देगा. हाँ, he will crush you. Why? Because he is not trained. वो अपने आप आपका बोझा उठाएगा क्या? तो what is that person called who trains the elephant? Mahot. Mahot. English it is Mahot and Hindi it is Mahavat. Yeah. Or similar. Very important. Very, very important verse and very important principle Prabhupada is saying, that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nations. Nations, you understand? Ignorance, darkness. So ignorance is the cause that we remain in this platform, that we think the mind is our best friend. और माइंड करता क्या है, उसके 4 फंक्शन मैंने आपको दे दिए, लिख लीजिए. अगर लाइफ में रियली इफ यू वांट टू प्रोग्रेस, बिना नोटबुक के क्या लिखोगे. एटलीस्ट मोबाइल फोन का यूज कर लो. हाँ, बेटर यूज ऑफ द बैड बार्गेन. वो तो हर समय डिस्ट्रैक्ट करता है, लेकिन यहीं से ट्रेनिंग शुरू करो. हाँ, अभी तक तो क्या करता रहा, हमारे माइंड को क्या लगता है, ये हमारा बेस्ट फ्रेंड है. माइंड का एक सबसे बड़ा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव क्या है, मोबाइल है या नहीं. अभी किसी की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई रिलेशनशिप की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई फ्रेंड की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई रिलेटिव की जरूरत नहीं, किसी की जरूरत नहीं है. आपके पास एक मोबाइल है और इंटरनेट है, तो आपको लगता है कि आप जी सकते हैं. हाँ, तो यहां बता रहे हैं कि द माइंड मस्ट बी सो ट्रेन फ्रॉम द मायर ऑफ नेशंस ऑफ इग्नोरेंस. Ignorance means that one is not having knowledge. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. तो हमारा सबसे बड़ा इन्फ्लुएंस हमारी लाइफ में क्या है, हम क्या करते हैं. हमारे एक भक्त बोल रहे थे हमारा एक ही आइडेंटिटी है. वो क्या आइडेंटिटी है? वी आर डेडिकेटेड सर्वेंट्स ऑफ आवर माइंड. वट एवर द माइंड डिमांड्स, वॉट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू फॉलो. है या नहीं? आप में से बताओ को कितने ऐसे हैं जो कि माइंड को कहते हैं चुप बैठ जा. यू आर नॉट द मास्टर, आई एम द मास्टर. नहीं हो सकता. अभी सोचा भी नहीं. अभी तो हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम क्या है. हम मनी है, क्योंकि हमारी आइडेंटिटी किसके साथ है? या तो शरीर के साथ है. यू वांट टू एंजॉय द सेंसेस, इसलिए जो शरीर को सेंसेस को अच्छा लगता है वो चाहिए, या जो मन को लुभावना लगता है वो चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि आइडेंटिटी किससे है? या तो शरीर से है या मन से. तो जब वो हमारी आइडेंटिटी है तो वो ही हमारे मास्टर है. और हमें क्या लगता है? इफ वी कैन सेटिस्फाई देम देन वी विल बी हैप्पी, देन वी विल बी सेटिस्फाइड. So in material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego. तो ये जो हमारे मिस्टर माइंड है ना, इनके पास एक और बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट है. वो सपोर्ट क्या है? वो है फॉल्स ईगो. दिखता है क्या? माइंड दिखता है? दिखता नहीं तो क्या है? नहीं है ना. कहते हैं ना माइंड योर ओन बिजनेस. इफ समबडी इज डिस्टर्बिंग आवर माइंड तो हम क्या बोलते हैं? माइंड योर ओन बिजनेस. या क्या बोलते हैं? आर यू एब्सेंट माइंडेड? व्हाट डज इट मीन? माइंड इज एब्सेंट, कैन यू सी द माइंड? बट व्हाई डू वी से एब्सेंट माइंडेड? दैट मीन्स ही इज नॉट पुटिंग हिज अटेंशन. हाउ द अटेंशन कम्स is through the mind. So here, so we have this gross body. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us, Bhagavad Gita gives our inner engineering. हम ये भी नहीं जानते कि हम हैं कौन और हम हैं क्या. जो हमको दिख रहा है, it is the external part, which is the body. But inside the body, there are two more dimensions. One is the subtle body. Subtle body is comprising of माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस एंड ईगो. थर्ड चैप्टर में कृष्णा ने एक्सप्लेन किया. कौन सा वर्स था? हु रिमेंबर्स? इंद्रियाणि पराणि आहुर इंद्रियेभ्यो परमना मनसस्तु परा बुद्धि यो बुद्धि परसस्तु सा. दैट द senses are higher than the dull matter, and higher than the senses is the mind, which controls the senses. But higher than the mind is the intelligence. Intelligence is like the reins. Reins समझते हैं ना, लगाम. और मन क्या है? मन is compared to the horses. Horses तो क्या करते हैं? Sorry, senses. So जो घोड़े हैं उनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए क्या चाहिए आपको? लगाम चाहिए. और लगाम होती किसके हाथ में है? ड्राइवर के हाथ में. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो ये क्या है? हियरार्की है. ग्रॉस मैटर से जो सेंसेस हैं वो ज्यादा पावरफुल है, और सेंसेस ज्यादा पावरफुल क्या है? हमारा मन. और माइंड के ऊपर क्या है? इंटेलिजेंस. और एक और सटल ऑब्जेक्ट है, बहुत ही सटल, और वो क्या है? ईगो. फॉल्स ईगो. है या नहीं है? कैसे पता चलता है? कब पता चलता है कि है या नहीं है? जब कोई हमारा अपमान करता है. इफ समबडी इंसल्ट्स और स्पीक्स नेगेटिव, तो इमीडिएटली अंदर जो कालिया बैठा है ना, वो जाग जाता है. जाग जाता है ना. दैट इज द फॉल्स ईगो. सो माइंड का फॉल्स ईगो के साथ बड़ा कनेक्शन है. प्रभुपाद जी एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं. तो ये माइंड जो है वो इंटेलिजेंस के बिलो है, लेकिन उसको ओवर पावर करता है या नहीं करता है? हम जो मन कह रहा है वो करते हैं, या जो बुद्धि कहती है वो करते हैं? क्या करते हैं? जब बुद्धि ज्यादा पावरफुल है तो मन कैसे जीत जाता है? प्रश्न ये आता है ना. जब बुद्धि ज्यादा शक्तिशाली है तो मन कैसे जीत जाता है? उसका कारण क्या है? क्योंकि मन का किसके साथ कनेक्शन है? हमारी फॉल्स ईगो के साथ. फॉल्स ईगो। और फॉल्स ईगो पहली कवरिंग है किसके ऊपर? हमारे सोल के ऊपर। और ये क्या करती है? फॉल्स ईगो, फॉल्स, फॉल्स का मतलब भी क्या है? जो सही नहीं है, विच इज नॉट रियल। द कवरिंग ऑफ द फॉल्स ईगो makes us identify either with the mind or with the body. तो जब तक ये फॉल्स ईगो की कवरिंग रहेगी तब तक हम अपने आप को नहीं देख सकते कि हम आत्मा है। हम अपने आप को क्या देखेंगे? शरीर है या मन है, और इन्हीं के अनुसार जिएंगे।
तो हम इसको फॉल्स ईगो क्यों कहते हैं? ईगो इटसेल्फ इज अ नेगेटिव।
नहीं, ईगो इज नॉट बैड, ईगो इज देयर। False ego means because it is not giving the right perception, it is giving the false perception. There is true ego also. What is the true ego? True ego is that I am not this body, I am soul. But for that, your false perception has to be cleared. So that is why Kṛṣṇa Prabhupada is explaining now that this nishans has to be over. That it has to be trained. The mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditions from the mire of nishans. This is the nishans, which is coming from where? From the false ego, from within. We are speaking about the inner engineering, not outside. No one else is responsible. We ourselves are responsible. Why? Because we are having nishans, ignorance or darkness. In the darkness, can you see things properly? If by chance, there is electric failure, can I speak? I won't be able to see. We claim that I see through my eyes, but if I am able to see my eyes, I should be able to see without light. Can we see without light? We cannot see. So everything here is dependent, it is relative. So nishayas is to be removed. And the real ego is which connects us to Kṛṣṇa. Because this soul belongs to Kṛṣṇa. And this material body belongs to this material world. It has taken birth and it will perish. Mind is also material. It is ever changing. So here it is said that because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over the material nature. So this is the programming, a software which is loaded in us. How do everything work? Now अभी तो आपका फोन भी कैसे वर्क करता है? सॉफ्टवेयर से ना। तो वो सॉफ्टवेयर क्या है? हमारा माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस और ईगो। और हार्डवेयर क्या है? हमारा ये शरीर है ना। तो बॉडी कैसे चलती है? माइंड, इंटेलिजेंस और ईगो से, जो सॉफ्टवेयर है। और वो सॉफ्टवेयर क्या है? करप्ट है, उसमें पूरा वायरस ही भरा हुआ है। तो जब सॉफ्टवेयर में वायरस भरा हुआ है तो आप कोई भी कमांड दोगे, उसका रिजल्ट क्या होगा? नेगेटिव होगा, उल्टा होगा, गड़बड़ होगा। इसलिए क्या गड़बड़ होता है? विच डिजायर्स टू लॉर्ड इट ओवर द मटेरियल नेचर। ये रिजल्ट है कि आप क्या समझते हो कि आप इस जगत के स्वामी हो, और आपका जन्म किस लिए हुआ है? भोगने के लिए। यू हैव कम टू एंजॉय। यू आर द मास्टर, यू आर द प्रोप्राइटर। लास्ट में कृष्ण ने कहा कि भोक्तारम यज्ञतपसाम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम। लेकिन जीव क्या बोलता है? भोक्तारम अहम तपसाम। मैं भोगता हूं। कृष्णा को तो हटा दिया और स्वयं को बना लिया। तो ये क्या है? ये सॉफ्टवेयर को क्या करना पड़ेगा? एंटीवायरस करना पड़ेगा। अपडेट करने से नहीं होगा भाई। अपडेट करने से वायरस नहीं हटेगा। तो उसमें एंटीवायरस प्रोग्राम डालना पड़ेगा। वो एंटीवायरस प्रोग्राम क्या है? स्पिरिचुअल ट्रेनिंग। वो है आज के दिन में? नहीं है। तो वो वायरस जाएगा नहीं। बॉडी चला जाएगा, बॉडी जाएगा, फिर दूसरा बॉडी आएगा, दूसरा बॉडी आएगा, उसमें बाय डिफॉल्ट वायरस आएगा। उसी के साथ बर्थ होगा। वो इनबिल्ट है, वो डिफॉल्ट है, वो डिफॉल्ट सेटिंग है। अभी है ना, अभी आपके मोबाइल फोन पे, आप अपने मोबाइल फोन पे आपके पास मेल होता है ना, आजकल सबके पास होता है, मेरे मोबाइल फोन में भी है। हम क्या करते हैं? क्लिक करते हैं। जैसे ही क्लिक करते हैं तो कहाँ जाता है? मेरे इनबॉक्स में जाता है, क्योंकि वो उसी हिसाब से क्या किया हुआ है? प्रोग्राम किया हुआ है। अगर आपका मुझे इनबॉक्स देखना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? अपने से लॉग आउट करना पड़ेगा और आपका लॉग इन करना पड़ेगा और आपका पासवर्ड डालना पड़ेगा, तब आपका मेल देख सकता हूँ ना, नहीं तो नहीं देख सकता हूँ। तो यही करना पड़ेगा। यहाँ ये बता रहे हैं कि which is the false ego which desires to lord it over the material nature. तो जो भी इस जगत में आएगा, whoever comes in this world, he will come with this impression that this world is made for me to enjoy, and I am the master, I am the owner, I am the possessor, I am the enjoyer. But is anyone able to do that? Have you found one? There came the so-called Alexander the Great, the greatest conqueror. And before dying, what did he say? He gave us 3 lessons. But anyone in the world has learned any lesson from him? No one. Because he proved that I could not become the Lord. I could not become the master, even though I conquered everything. But still, I am the biggest loser. Because everything what I want, I have to leave here. So that is why he said, keep my both hands outside my coffin so that everyone can see I am going empty-handed. But has anyone learned that lesson? No. Why? Because trainer is not there. In the life, if you do not have a trainer, even if you know, even if you have the information, but you cannot apply. And if you try, it will not work. Why? Because mind, intelligence, and false ego, it is all corrupt. What is the corruption? Krishna has already explained in Bhagavad Gita. What is the corruption? What is the corruption? Bolo. Some devotees are watching online. What is the corruption? Krishna has already explained the corrupt. What is that? What is that virus which is spread everywhere? Prani Bhagavad Gita. Bolo, Dayashil, what is that virus? बहुत क्लियर है अभी तो आज का डिस्कशन से तो बिल्कुल क्लियर है वो लस्ट कृष्ण क्या बताया वेयर इज द लस्ट रिसाइडिंग इट इज रिसाइडिंग इन द सेंसेस इट इज रिसाइडिंग इन द माइंड it is residing in the intelligence also. All your software is completely corrupt. Which verse is that? What are the resting place of lust? Show me that verse, Manoram. Revise. Do not leave Bhagavad Gita. Every day study Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, already our software will remain corrupt. We have to run the antivirus every day. Every morning, every evening. Because as soon as you stop running the antivirus, the virus will start working. It is already working. It will never leave us. A very beautiful verse. Krishna says that what are the resting places of the lust? Verse number 3.40. Indriyani mano buddhir asya adhishthanam ucyate eter vimohyati esha jnanam avritya dehinam. 3.40. Dayashil Prabhu, Madam has come for the first time. So have you opened and given the verse to her? The Manoram 3.40. Why are you taking so much time? Yeah, show the translation. So see, Indriyani, which is the senses, Mano, which is the mind, and Buddhi, which is the intelligence. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. This is the virus. And how it acts? Through them, lust covers the real knowledge. What is the real knowledge? That I am neither this body, neither I am the mind, neither I am the intelligence, nor the false ego. I am soul. So this intelligence is covered by lust, and the living entity and bewilders him. So it's very important. Therefore, the mind should be trained. Again, Prabhupada is emphasizing. He said before also, and again see, now we have come to the remain. ठीक है? हम reference दे रहे हैं. What I am trying to tell you, Kṛṣṇa is repeating many times in Bhagavad Gita what he has already said before. Even after repeating, even after speaking so many times, still we don't accept and we don't apply. Then who is responsible for our misery or miserable situation? Anyone else? Ourselves. So therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted to the glitter of material nature. And in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by the attraction of the sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense object, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. समझ में आया? हाँ, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. एक जर्मन रिपोर्टर थी, लेडी, मैंने पहले ही बताया, लेकिन सुनो. हाँ, वो शी वॉज ट्राइंग टू डू सर्वे ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. Germans are very intelligent people, no? They go to the root, they try to do research. So she was going to many places to find out that who are the happiest people in the world. अभी आता है एक मैगजीन निकालती है कौन सबसे हैप्पी पीपल है वर्ल्ड में. इंडिया की पोजीशन वेरी लो, दैट बिकम वेरी लेस. So somehow she reached ISKCON temple also. And when she came, ISKCON temple में क्या होता है? एक ही चीज होता है, सब नाचते रहते हैं और गाते रहते हैं. वो हाउ डू पर्सन बी हैप्पी? हु इज हैप्पी? He will be singing and dancing. What you will do when you will be happy? Singing and dancing. When you are really happy, then you will dance. If you are morose, can you dance? Even if you are drunk, you cannot dance. People drink. Nowadays, people have to drink to dance. But in our temples, we don't have to drink. And when we start dancing, 4:30 in the morning. Every day, we have dancing session. We have singing session, 4:30 in the morning. Anyone is invited to come and join. Everyone. We don't charge also. It is free. Our dance party is free. So she came one day, she saw this. She was very much, amazed. She came for many days. And every time she came, she saw devotees singing, dancing, bright faces, glow coming out. And she was thinking, how are these people so very happy? So one day, she caught one brahmachari. And she said, sir, I want 5 minutes. I said, okay. So, Boliki, I want to know how you are happy. So I have some question. She had prepared her, questionnaire. So she said that, please tell me, do you keep a mobile phone? Do you have a mobile phone? That is what? iPhone. iPhone. Identity is with the phone. That is a very intelligent people. That is why they have made the brand iPhone. वो आप देखते रहो कौन कौन सा वर्जन है, वो देखते रह जाओगे, एक के बाद दूसरा आएगा, दूसरे के बाद तीसरा आएगा, जो है वो पुराना हो जाएगा और नया आने के बाद पुराना बेकार हो जाएगा. तो he said, no, we don't use mobile phone. We have our own mobile. What is that mobile? Mantra mobile. This is the mantra mobile. We use this connection to connect with Kṛṣṇa. So we don't use a instrument mobile. We don't have one. तो आपके पास है मंत्रा मोबाइल? नहीं है ना, तो आपके पास मोबाइल फोन नहीं है, आईफोन. आप बोलोगे मैं क्या हूं? आईफोन. You don't have the mantra mobile. Then she said, okay, tell me, sir, you have a car? So the brahmachari said, no, we don't need a car. Like, you don't need a car? You don't go out and preach? We say, I go out and preach. We have temple car. And whenever I need the car, it comes to me. If the car does not come, I use a metro. So you don't have a car, you don't have a mobile, and still you are happy. How is it so? Then she said, Acha, you have bank account, you have bank balance. So you may be happy, you may be having a lot of money in your bank and you are happy that your life is safe, your future is safe, and you are bubbling. He said, no. Brahmacharis means everything, every money belongs to Kṛṣṇa. Our bank account is our bank accounts, our account office. Whatever money we get, we deposit in our temple accounts. So when you need money then? Well, if we need money, we will give it to our temple commander. If he thinks fit, he will give us money. But why do we need money? We don't need money. Actual freedom is when you don't need money. We are not dependent on money. Everyone in this world is dependent on money. You become really independent when you don't need money. So we don't need money. So there is no bank account. We don't have bank account. Then again, she was even more amazed. You don't have a mobile phone. You don't have car. You even don't have bank account. But still you are happy. So she was little puzzled. तो अभी क्या पूछें? तो एक और क्वेश्चन है, बोला इस पे तो फंसा लूंगी. बोले अच्छा यू हैव अ गर्लफ्रेंड दैट इज कीपिंग यू हैप्पी. तो ब्रह्मचारी said, ब्रह्मचारी एंड गर्लफ्रेंड नॉट, वी कॉल एवरी लेडी माता जी. मातृवर्त परदारिषु. Chanakya Pandit has said that you should see every woman to be your mother. If you do that, then lust cannot enter. And if you don't do that, only lust will remain inside. And lowest worst, you should see every other woman as mother, and you should see every other one's property as pebble, as useless as pebble. So she was saying that you don't have a mobile phone, you don't have car, you don't have your bank account, you don't have a girlfriend, and still you are happy. So what is the secret? And he said, "My dear madam, because I don't have all this, that is why I am happy." This is the secret of happiness. If you have all this, you can never be happy. Why? Because this possibility is there, which desires to lord it over the material nature. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Na dhanam, na janam, na sundari." But everyone in this world is saying, "Ha dhanam, ha janam, ha sundari." And they will always remain miserable. Because this has nothing to do with the real self. This is only for our external illusory thing, which is not having any connection with us. So this has to be trained. Our mind has to be trained. It has to be tamed. आपने सर्कस देखा है? अभी तो देखा नहीं होगा. पहले जब हम लोग बच्चे थे तो सर्कस में जाते थे. हाँ, सर्कस में एक सबसे लास्ट शो होता था. सबसे लास्ट शो, सबसे मोस्ट अवेटेड शो. हाँ, उसमें क्या होता था कि बहुत सारे लायंस आते थे या टाइगर्स, और एक पतला सा रिंग मास्टर आता था. और रिंग मास्टर के पास ऐसा नहीं कोई बहुत सोफिस्टिकेटेड ऑटोमेटिक मशीन गन होता था, कुछ नहीं. उसके पास एक छोटा सा डंडा होता था, लंबा सा डंडा. और वो क्या करता था कि अपने डंडे से शेर को बोलता था इधर बैठो. बैठता था. और एक बड़ा सा रिंग होता था और रिंग में आग लगा देता था. और वो शेर की तरफ इशारा करता था और शेर उस रिंग में से कूदता था. एक पतला सा रिंग मास्टर और 10, 12, 15 बड़े बड़े खूंखार शेर. हाँ. तो लेकिन वो डरता नहीं था. कौन डरता था? शेर डरता था. तो हमारा माइंड क्या है? शेर है. वो 10, 12, 15 शेर की तरह. हाँ. और जो ट्रेनर है वो क्या है? वो रिंग मास्टर है. वो कैसे ट्रेन करता है शेर को? हमारे टीचर बता रहे थे शेर को कैसे ट्रेन करते हैं. शेर के पास तो बहुत ताकत है. एक रिंग मास्टर को 10 रिंग मास्टर को खा जाए. वो 10, 12, 15 शेर तो 1 मिनट में चट कर दे. तो शेर को जब ट्रेनिंग देते हैं तो शेर को कई दिनों तक पिंजरे में बंद रखते हैं और उसको खाने को कुछ नहीं देते. तो पहले तो जब वो जैसे ही पिंजरे में आता है तो बहुत दहाड़ता है, बहुत चिल्लाता है, बहुत शोर करता है, बहुत पंजे मारता है, तो वो पिंजरे तोड़ देगा. उसके पास इतना फोर्स है. पिंजरा तोड़ सकता है? नहीं तोड़ सकता है. और खाने को नहीं मिलेगा तो क्या होता है? उसकी जितनी एनर्जी है, जितना फोर्स है, वो सब धीरे धीरे क्या होने लगता है? डाउन होता रहता है. और जब वो बिल्कुल, हाँ, उसकी सारी एनर्जी ड्रेन हो जाती है तो उसका पिंजरा खोल देते हैं. पिंजरा खोल देते हैं और रिंग मास्टर उसको इशारे से बाहर करता है. बाहर आता है, बोलता है कूदो. कूदोगे तो एक मीट का टुकड़ा दूंगा, नहीं कूदेगा तो डंडा दूंगा. वो क्या करेगा? कूदेगा, नहीं तो भूख से मर जाएगा. हाँ. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट यहाँ बता रहे हैं. द माइंड हैज टू बी ट्रेन्ड. आवर माइंड इज लाइक दैट लॉयन और दैट टाइगर. अगर ट्रेनर के अलावा किसी और ने अगर कोशिश की तो क्या करेगा? खा जाएगा. खा जाएगा ना. हाँ. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है. इसलिए वन शुड नॉट बी degrade oneself by the attraction. The more one is attracted by sense object, the more one become entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point. That is, one must do this. It is also said, mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaya bandhaya vishaya sango muktaye nirvishayam mana. For the man, mind is the cause of bondage. When the mind is the cause of bondage, when the mind identifies itself with body, it is the cause of bondage. Because the mind will push where? For sense enjoyment, for sense gratification, for dhanam janam sundari. And the mind is the cause of liberation. When the mind is the cause of liberation, when the mind is trained, when the mind is pure, when the mind does not identify with the body, but it identifies with Atma or Paramatma. Mind absorbed in sense object is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense object is the cause of liberation. Amrit Bindu Upanishad 2. Therefore, the mind, which is always engaged in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, is the cause of supreme liberation. So what should I do? Array, what is the time? It is 1 घंटा 1.5 घंटा कब बीत गया पता ही नहीं चला. अभी तो बंद करना पड़ेगा. मैं तो समझा दूसरा वर्ष इसी के साथ है, ये भी ले लेते हैं, लेकिन तो 11-12 बज जाएंगे अगली बार. Next time we will take it next time. Okay, so I'll stop here. So our most deadly enemy is inside us, and we are considering it to be our best friend. Very dangerous situation. So Kṛṣṇa is cautioning us. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता कि हम माइंड को निकाल के फेंक दें. कर सकते हैं क्या? नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन माइंड को क्या करना चाहिए? ट्रेन करना चाहिए. ट्रेन करना चाहिए. It can be trained. When it becomes trained, it becomes our best friend. Okay, so I'll stop here. If there is any question, any doubt, or something else, you can ask. Hare Krishna. तो कौन कहता है भगवत गीता बोरिंग है? Is it boring? बोरिंग उसी को सकता है जो माइंड का क्या है? दास है. माइंड बोलेगा भगवत गीता पढ़ो, कभी नहीं बोलेगा. बोलेगा मत सुनो, उधर मत जाना. नहीं तो मेरा क्या हो जाएगा? मेरा जो सत्ता है वो समाप्त हो जाएगा. हरे कृष्ण. बोले. But you take the mic so that they can also hear.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
So
Krishna.
the sense gratifications and fruitive activities, are they different or the same?
See, normally sense gratification is direct. And why do people perform fruitive activity? To get sense gratification, isn't it? So one may be directly doing it, or one may be, aspiring to do it. But the third position is the sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī. One is completely renounced from both. Neither he has the desire, that means there is no aspiration, neither he engages, nor he pursues. So it's beyond both. So that is what Kṛṣṇa is aspiring. Kṛṣṇa actually come to that platform. Why Arjuna was saying that he does not want to fight? What was Arjuna doing now? Let me ask from you, what have you understood? Or what level is Arjuna? Wait. Here. He knows, he has much more knowledge. He's hearing from many years. Have you understood what are the 3 levels? One is indriya-artheṣu, one who is directly engaged in sense gratification. Second is what? Karmasv, anuṣajjate, who is aspiring for fruitive activities. And the third is sarva-saṅkalpa-sannyāsī. So what level is Arjuna?
Senses.
Hmm?
He wanted to satisfy the senses of his own senses.
No, you answer me the right one. What level? First level, second level, third level, and what is the words? What was Arjuna doing? What did he say?
I want to be happy.
I shall not fight. What is he performing? By not fighting, what is he performing? Fruitive activity. Because if he fights, he thinks, I will kill. And if I kill, then how can I be happy? So what is the center? The self or the extended selfishness? Isn't it? What is he considering himself to be? The body, and his pleasure will come from those who are in attachment or relation to the body. That is the entire world is living on this platform. That I am this body, and those who are attached to me or those who are connected to me through this body. Prabhupada says a skin disease. The entire world is inflicted with this skin disease. कोविड आया ना, कोविड आया तो क्या हुआ? जिनको कोविड हो गया क्या उनके साथ लोग गए? उनको कोई पास भी नहीं जाता था. नियरेस्ट एंड डियरेस्ट रिलेशनशिप कोई पास भी नहीं आता था. क्यों? कि लगता था कि ये क्या हो जाएगा? ट्रांसमिट हो जाएगा. ये तो जा रहा है, मैं भी जाऊंगा. ओके, आप लोगों को कोई प्रश्न नहीं है? सब समझ में आ गया? हाँ, हमारा सबसे बड़ा शत्रु को हम सारा पूरे जीवन भर मित्र मानते रहे, मानते रहेंगे, यही समझ में आ गया? आ गया? बंद करते हैं बात, सिग्नल भी आ गया बंद करने का। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू